We won. We came out, and the team that we played, Western New Mexico, they're giant. They have the biggest team in the conference by far across the board. You know, they're 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". And so we had to adjust to kind of their style of play a little bit. And once we did that, we played pretty well. You know, every match is when, you know, Western Mexico's a team has never been in our conference before. You know, so we've played them a couple times. They've come to our tournament in the past. But they have a pretty much brand new team every single year. They recruit a lot. They get a lot of transfers, a lot of one-year kids. So you never really know what you're going to get. But they were talented. They were pretty good. I was pleased with our effort. No, they have a kid on their team that's pretty good. They hit 300. We hit 300. It was a pretty well-played set on both sides. But they have a kid on their team who, when she gets going, she's tough to stop. And she started off pretty strong. She cooled off near the end of the set and the rest of the match. But, you know, we made some adjustments to make sure that we were tracking her a little bit better. But she got off early and kind of pushed the pace for us. But what I liked is that, you know, we adjusted to that. You know, we stayed pretty clean. We only made a few errors each set until the third set. So I was appreciative of how attentive they were to the details I was giving to them in timeouts. No, we're disappointed in 9-1. We'll be 100% straightforward with that. We shouldn't have lost that match up at West Texas. We're disappointed. We're expecting to be better than 9-1 second half. That's for sure. Well, we've got a lot of goals that depend on us winning those matches. So it's not just about winning matches. It's about what's the bigger picture for us. You know, being able to host a conference tournament, being able to host a regional tournament, those are huge advantages for us if we can make those things happen. So every match has attached to it a piece of that goal. So it's not very challenging for us to stay focused on that stuff. Well, when you can play in front of 12 or 1,300 people who want you to win as opposed to who want the other team to win, it makes a big difference. You know, it was a great advantage for us to host the regional last year. The crowds are great. The fans were awesome. The support locally, you know, from both the media and the community was awesome. So we would like that advantage again, you know, and we're going to do everything we can to kind of keep that in mind as we compete. Well, our ball control, serve receive is still just a spot off where we need it to be. You know, when we're in system, when we pass the ball perfect where we want it to be, we're pretty tough to stop. But we didn't do that enough over the weekend. It puts a lot of pressure on Mallory and Bree at the pins for us, and a little bit on Abby. So we want to be able to spread the ball evenly and not be predictable. But when we don't pass well, we get predictable. So it's a constant thing. You know, it's like foul shots. You're going to shoot them every day. You know, because it's part of the game. But you know, serve receive is a big part of volleyball, and so we've got to be just a little more consistent in that world.
Well, I think that we've got to get some production out of some younger players. You know, I think they're getting a lot of valuable experience, but that experience has to start translating, you know, into some goals and into some shutouts and those kind of things. So, right now, then you know, in the last two games that we've lost, you know, defense was not as stellar as I think it should be, and so that's got to improve. And then the other part is obviously attacking. I think that this last weekend, we probably had 50 shots between the two games. And not a high level of those were difficult shots for the goalkeepers to save. And so we've got to improve in that, and we've got 4 games left in the regular season to get that solved. Well, hopefully it motivates them for the future. I mean, there's not much we can do about it since that game's over. WT was an important game for us. I think that they're a team that's really close with us in the rankings, and you know, that would have been a good thing for us to have that 2 wins against the team and not be splitting with everybody. So it hurts. I hope that, you know, the team remembers it, not just the seniors, because we're counting a lot on the younger players. And like I said, they need to understand that this season is not all about the seniors; it's about the team. And some of those younger players need to start producing. Well, years down the road, hopefully it's going to pay off because, you know, next year, for example, they're not going to be stepping into experiences and say, "Well, I'm not really sure what to expect here." But that's so far away for us, and what we're thinking about that. You know, they've been here enough now and gotten enough minutes, a good significant portion of the younger players, that they've got to start producing. They can't just look to the older players and say, well, show me how to do this and show me how to do that. They've really got to be accountable for themselves, and hopefully that will pay off in the future, but right now we're worried about the next 2 weeks, couple weeks. Well, the next few games, I mean, it's always possible that something's going to happen with with the teams above us, and so maybe that has an impact for, you know, really realistically probably right now looking at you know, second place being an objective. And so that would include a bye in the first round of the tournament. And when you're talking about fatigue and trying to play 3 games in 4 days, that's not a good thing. So we'd like to be able to still find a way to fight and get into that second spot. But realistically, the thing that we're looking at right now that I'm going to talk to the players about is on Wednesday, we play against UTPB. And talking about short-term goals, UTPB is the team that, potentially if they won all the way out, then they would catch up in points. The rest of the team obviously can do that, but there's going to be one team that doesn't go to the tournament. We want to make sure that this Wednesday when we go play UTPB that we're ready to take advantage of that opportunity and do everything we can to secure our place in the Lone Star Conference tournament. Well, it's a weird scheduling thing, but we did it before and got a win against UTPB and then played on Friday against Midwestern and lost a tough one at home. So this time we have the Wednesday game and then a Sunday game. So we do have the ability to break that up. And the other part is we're going to kind of change some things, I think, for the game against UTPB to make sure that, we do rest some of our players that need a break. So we've got a couple players that could use, a few less minutes on Wednesday. And hopefully we're going to do that. And again, this is another opportunity for those younger players to solidify their role within the team. Hopefully they take advantage of it.
Well, I think what we're expecting is we expect to run better from 3 to 5. I think it's far enough along in the season that those back girls, they need to get up and get with the front, and we need to stay together. We just need to compete. Some of those girls are middle distance girls, but in the long run, we're all running cross country right now, and if they step up to the line, they need to get up there and just race. I have no feelings. It's just another conference meet. I'm glad to get out there to run that course because it's a good flat course. It should be fast and really viewer friendly, but as far as it being in Commerce, I don't have any feelings. I expect good things from the men's team. I think a couple of our guys that have been running 4 and 5 for us are going to have big meets. I think our 2 that have been running front all year are going to continue that, and I think we're going to step up there and do well. I think probably Midwestern's the team to beat on the women. I think WT's the team to beat on the men. Other than that, 3 through 6 could be any team in the conference probably on the men's side, and the women, I'd say probably 4 through 6 is up for grabs. I think realistically our men need to be in the top 3. We haven't got a top 3 trophy coming from the conference meet in a while, and I think right now where we are in the season, I think that's a pretty realistic goal for us. Women, I think we need to try to get a couple all-conference girls and get up there and beat some teams.
No, I don't think there's any moral victories in any losses. I guess there's always things you can take away that you felt that you did good, things that you obviously need to improve on. But, losing it at the last second like this and having your guys fight back from 21 down, I don't know if a moral victory was there. I don't know if I could tell my kids that and they accept it. But, just for us, we got to improve in some areas, and because we don't have much time to sit here and sulk about the loss with Commerce coming to town. Well, it's been big, because we, especially after you get the fumble that late in the game, and your offense has a lot of momentum going because the way they played that second half, you feel good about it, and just have your bubble popped at the end with them scoring at the end. We were hoping that if they got anything out, it'd be just 3 points, and that we could get maybe Casey in range to tie it, but. Our kids kept fighting, and they believed the whole time, even when we were 21 down, that we had a chance to win that game. And I feel bad for our seniors. I feel bad for all of our kids to be in that situation and lose it. Well, I think so, and I hope our kids look at it that way because obviously we got Commerce, who's ranked number 9 in the country, coming to town this week, and so you don't have time to sulk about it. We got to get ready for them. If we had that hangover. From the disappointment of last week's game, and with Commerce here, you're going to get beat bad, and so we got to get over it quickly as a staff, as a team, with Commerce coming. But our guys, hopefully that shows that if we play sound football and play to the level we're capable of doing, we can play with anybody. Well, obviously you want to play 4 quarters. I think the wind was a big factor in that game. We were going into it the first quarter, and that pinned us. And if you look at it, 14 of those points for Midwestern came when they had the win. So we put ourselves in a little bind. I thought defense made some great adjustments in the second half. You see them really making a stand out there, and then offensively, same way, starting to move the ball, be able to run it, get some field position and points on the board. So, that's what we talk to with our kids week in and week out. We got to put 4 quarters together to have a chance to win a game in the Lone Star Conference. Well, I hope so, because you're going to have the fans behind you. Anytime it's a big third down play and you have a crowd cheering behind you, you can feed off that energy. And so, staying at home, being in our locker room, and nothing new, and friendly confines of the LeGrand Stadium, First Community Credit Union Field's a great complex for us to play in, and hopefully our guys will feed off the energy that our fans bring. Well, that's tough. We've all year we've been really good on third down. And if you go back to this game, I think they were 2 of 11 or something like that. But fourth down, we weren't very good, and that's something that we got to improve on. We talk about getting the ball back to their offense, and whether that be them punting the ball back or a fourth down stand, we got to do a better job. Our offense is starting to click and play very well, and so we need to give them all the opportunities we can. Well, shoot, I hope so, but Commerce is very good. Coach Carthell's done a great job. Their offense is high powered. They got Cooper at the running back. The quarterback's playing at a high level. So, if we get that kind of victory and we're able to do that, that'd be great. But they could score. They could have 1,000 yards, and if we win, I don't care. But it's going to be a tough matchup. We're going to have to play at a high level. Our defense is going to have to really stand out and give our offense every opportunity. Well, it's last couple of years it's come down to the end. It's come down to 1 to 3 points. So it's been a great competition. Kobe is an alum of Angelo State, and so that adds a little bit to it. But we recruit against each other, whether it be a transfer or high school kid. So there's a lot of background in this game, and so. Our kids are fired up about it. It's a big rival, but we can't treat it any different. We got to treat it as a home game and a game that we need to get our winning streak back. Well, he keeps getting better each week. If you watch him from the day that he stepped foot on the field, he's really improved. Obviously there's some things we got to work on, but his confidence level is skyrocketing. The kids have total confidence in him. They're behind him 100%, and so I think that helps in our offense production. And those guys understand that if they break down up front in a pass protection, that Carson has the ability to get out some things and make some things happen. And so those guys are feeding off each other, and hopefully he'll improve a little bit more this week and make some great throws and reads. I think we just got to play at a high level, and hopefully we have a chance to win this ball game and carry that on to the next road, our next 2 road trips. But we want to send our seniors on a high note. We know we got 4 games left, and we want this to be a memorable one for those 20 guys. And if we could win, the last 4, that'd be great. But we're going to approach it as this is the main game, and this is where we want to start getting back on a win streak and do it for our seniors.